Well, this is a change of pace from my normal stuff. This is a Bobcat 1600 articulated loader. Got it from a friend of mine. He got it in a package deal. I don't know, he bought out some lawn center or something, but he got a bunch of stuff. My guess is they were using this to load mulch and, decorative rocks, all that kind of stuff. But as you can see, it's been sitting a while. If I can get it going, obviously it'll be a nice piece of equipment to have. One obvious problem, and that's why all this is taken out before I got it. It's all laying over there. The coupler between the motor or the engine and the hydraulic pump. It's missing. Now I did find the piece that goes onto here on this end, so that's good. I don't have to hunt that down. And there are bits and pieces laying around, like this piece here it's got some needle bearings in there that are pretty bad, and the one joint that's left is pretty crunchy. So the question is, did the coupler break because the motor's locked up or the pump's locked up, or did the coupler break because it's a royal pain to get to lube it up? And that's what I'm hoping, and that's my suspicion. It's just too hard to get to, so it's probably never been done. But we can track one down. If we put it in and the motor's shot, we'll have to pump. If the pump's shot, we'll have to reevaluate this whole project, because this pump is not cheap, and I don't know if it's out of my league or not. So I'm not sure why. Maybe they didn't know what the problem was and they just started pulling stuff apart. This whole handle and linkage and everything here is missing, which is what controls the arm up and down and the bucket tip. This one is the one for the auxiliary hydraulic port up front. I know nothing about these machines, so I don't even know if I'm saying stuff right. But anyway, the guy I got it from, he says he had it running, the motor running, obviously not the pump. I've known this guy for a long time. If he says it runs, then it runs. I think this is a Kubota KB1, something like that. I don't know what's going on with this goofy thing here coming out of the fuel tank. It's got two hoses coming out here. I don't know why you would. I don't know. And the fuel filter thing looks like it's missing. I guess that's fuel filter. This battery looks pretty dinky. He said it was weak. It would have to be. He had it on a jump box to start the thing. My guess is it's not even big enough. I don't know if he threw that in there or if that's what was in here. Some of the interior cover panels. And here's the seat. Well, the seat frame anyway, and the cover that goes over everything. So I think I got enough here to make a good base for our project. If I get it working, it'll never be perfect, but nothing I have is, so it'll fit right in. But if it can make a few bucks, do a little bit of work, keep me from lifting heavy things around the house, trying to get my wife to help me, We're both kind of tired of that, and that'll be a big help. Anyway, first thing is see if we can get this thing started. I do have the key. We'll go track that down, and the battery charger, so we can give it a little boost, and we'll see if we can get the motor running. Alright, so I pulled this battery out because it's shot anyway, and just put in a battery I know is good. Put the jump box on it, just to give it a little extra juice before we give it a try. I want to check the oil, make sure we have some. Oh, what the heck? Well, that's not easy to get out. Am I doing it wrong? Maybe. Probably. Let's try that again. Well, I'd say it's got oil. Yes, when I do an oil change, I have to. That'll fix that problem. Got too much oil. Far too much oil. Alright. So, it's not got a dry start, it's got oil, it's got juice. Let's give it a couple, I think stiff, a couple pumps on the primer. And let's just see if she turns over. Oh. Well, that's anticlimactic. Let me grab a voltmeter. This was already dangling, so I don't know if it fell off or if somebody took it off for a reason. I'll grab a voltmeter and see if the switch is getting power. So I put the voltmeter on the back of this, and it's not getting power to the switch. And I don't know where it's not coming from. There's two fuses in the dash, and they're both good, so I don't know. Something somewhere is not right. So I think we're going to bypass that just to see if this thing will start up. There's three options for this thing. Either I'm going to get it running and I'm going to use it, or I'm going to get it running and I'm going to sell it, or I'm not going to get it running for some reason and I part it out. So before I put any time or effort into figuring out any wiring or anything like that, I gotta make sure the thing runs. Because if it doesn't run, or if there's something catastrophic with the motor, then I don't have to worry about all the other stuff. So I think I'm just going to bump the starter. Yeah, juice, bump this. It should start. Let me get a long handle screwdriver and let's just see what happens. Alright, we got the jump box all the way on 200 amps. Bump it and see what happens. Okay. Turns over, so that's good. Prime it a little more. That battery don't have much juice in it. Look at all the smoke coming out of there. I wonder if that's because of how full the crankcase is. I don't know. It is, I think it's 42 degrees out. This thing hasn't been run a couple months at least. Guy said it ran. It's almost, I believe him. He had it running. And who knows how long before then. Let's give it a little squirt of starter fluid and see what happens. Like this. So given the state of this air cleaner, I think we can safely assume that the previous owner neglected maintenance, which could mean that that universal joint is the problem, not the hydraulic pump, and that would be excellent, especially if this thing starts. That's cool. I gotta do that again. That's exciting. That thing did fire right up. He wasn't lying to me. I didn't figure he was. Okay. Okay, so that's one thing down. Next thing we gotta do is get the motor hooked to the pump to make sure the pump's not bad. If the pump's not bad, then we'll really dig into this thing. And it wouldn't bother me to put a few bucks into it. So, let's go see what we need to do there. Obviously, this is a pretty tight space. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get you in there with me, but I gotta get these 4 bolts out to get this piece off, and have to get the other piece in there. I took a chance on this thing actually running because my man said it would, and I ordered the piece. I figured worst case scenario, he was lying to me, I could still sell it and get most of my money back. But anyway, I have the piece on hand. I'm gonna go ahead and get that off, put it in there, and let's see what happens, man. So I was right. There was no room to get in there, to get you guys in there with me. But I got this piece out. That's the piece that was stuck to the motor. This is the piece that was laying in the Bobcat, and I cleaned up inside of here. Checked it, it slides on nice and smooth, so no problems there. So now, let's check and see if the new part, which I got from Intella Parts Company. Never heard of them until I needed this part, so I don't know anything about them. Here's the whole arrangement right here. What we want to see is, do these parts made up like they're supposed to? What does this say? Place opposite side against metal. Do not... Oh, it's a corrosion inhibitor. Oh, okay. So, I don't imagine... Alright, that's cool. That fits. That fits really good. And that appears to be the same. Looks like we got a winner. So I've been doing some noodling on this, because I'm not real excited about moving that motor. And I got to thinking, this spline shaft here, this coupling probably had a little bit of play in and out. So I wondered if I could slide this on. Well, mount this first. No, that was right. Yeah, slide that on, and then mount this, and then use a real short Allen head key to get in there to tighten all the bolts. And that's when it hit me. That's probably why this is loose. Whoever took it out didn't want to take the motor out either. So they thought it would be easier, probably rightly so, to loosen the pump and slide it just enough. Because I'm thinking, hoping, that I'll only have to go that distance out. Just enough to get that tongue in there. So, before I do anything to pull this motor backwards towards me when you're at the back. Anyway, before I unbolt anything on the motor, I think I'm going to try to mount this from here without loosening that. Well, I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I'll give it a try. But it's really tight in here, so I'm not going to be able to get you in there with me. We'll just have to see it when it's done. So, that's what we'll do. I'll do some wrenching, and hopefully I'll be back soon with good news. Well, I've done some stuff that's no fun before. This is definitely on that list. Getting that in there was no fun at all, but as you can see, we did get it in there. Now I have to line up these tangs here onto that splined receiver. I actually had to turn the hydraulic pump over, and where I couldn't before by hand, there was really just nothing to grab onto. It turned over freely, so that's a good sign that at least it's not locked up. So now I just want to start it, and I guess try each of the controls just to see if they work at all. We're not going to do a whole lot. We just want to make sure stuff works, and then we'll know if know what I got on my hands here. I don't have the stop lever hooked up, and the throttle control lever is stuck. So I'm going to be winging it here. I'm probably going to have to pry the throttle open just enough to see if things work or not. So I got the jump box on. Probably going to need the starter fluid, or maybe not. I just ran it yesterday, and I need a long screwdriver. So let's grab that and let's give it a shot. Take this off just in case. Let's see, that open, that's forward. Try it without first and see what happens. Don't see any juices leaking or liquids anywhere. Oop. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. but it did move. Nice. Nice, nice. I'd like to try these controls, but I don't want to stick my hands in there. Let me see what I can rig up real quick. And we'll give that a try too. So this is just about as janky as it gets. A couple wires that I can pull up on. Oh my goodness. Hope it's easier when it's running. Oh, here we go. Just to see. Let's fire it up. Oh, there it goes. Yep. Nice. Alright. Last thing to check. I'm a little worried about it. Is the forward and reverse. I'm a little worried because I don't know anywhere to sit. I think I'm going to try to turn it to low, which of course this is missing. So I guess that's low. That safety needs to be... Oh, that's not even hooked up. Oh, it's in the... Okay, now that's in the up position. Okay. Only one way to find out. Well, that was exciting. That pedal, well, without sitting on it, you know, with your foot on it, it was walking on me. And of course, I couldn't get around to it from this side because the door was open. But, man, this is so cool. So there we go. There we go. Everything works. Don't know how good, but all the functions work. So now I can put some time and a little bit of money into it and feel okay. First thing I'm gonna do is figure out this starter switch. I think if I could, well, certainly don't want to keep jumping the starter, but if I could get that working, then the glow plugs would work. I probably wouldn't have to use any starter fluid. So, well, electrical is one of my least favorite things to do, and it's even more difficult when someone's looking over your shoulder. So, just keeping the camera out of the way so I can, not a whole lot of room to move in here, all that. Anyway, I took all the shielding off, or whatever this plastic stuff's called, so I could trace where each wire went, cleaned up some terminals, trying to figure out what the deal was. Come around here, followed the wires up into the overhead, I guess you'd call that a dash panel, I don't know. While I was at it, I figured out what those cut cables were. Let's see if I can get you in closer here. So these were cut, and you can see somebody just pigtailed them together, and they're for these switches here, these micro switches that I'm assuming will make it so it won't start unless this is in the exact right position. I know that's a safety feature. Maybe I'll put it back, or maybe I'll just learn to do it without the training wheels and be a big boy. But anyway, turns out my whole problem with the ignition switch was inside this plug. I'm not going to pull it apart again because it was such a pain. It looks like this. There's just more plugs. Pulled it apart, and the terminal right here that sticks out for this red cable with the black tracer was stuck onto the female side. So basically it had broken off and was stuck in there. So I just jumped it, and somebody had done that previously to another wire which was in this plug. And check it out. I still got to put this back in the dash, but turns over, and it's hard to do with one hand. Let me see if I can get you in there. I don't know if you could hear that, but that was the relay for the glow plugs. Alright, so now it starts by the key. Very cool. So I'm going to wrap all this electrical back up best I can. Try to get it all protected and all that. And I know it starts, I know it'll run. I don't want to run it for long. And part of the reason is I'm not sure the state of the coolant. And if you look here, oh, that's hot. I don't know if you can see that. See this garbage coming out from behind this cover for the radiator? I think something's been nesting in there, and that's where the air from the fan blows through to the radiator. So before I let it run long, I'm going to take this off, clean that out, and make sure that's all free of debris. Once I do that, then I guess the next step is a full service. Change all the fluids, filters, all that stuff, and then start making parts or finding the parts that are missing. Start off doing a partial service on this. I say partial because I don't have everything at the moment. Basically it's an oil change, and clean up all this, whatever this is, garbage down in here. If anyone's watching this, it'll be continuous for you, but for me, there's going to be days in between the work I do. I'll be jumping around a little bit. I didn't want to change the oil until I replaced this. As you can see, this is a little bit questionable. But I did find a replacement Bobcat part, or at least a Bobcat box with a part inside of it. That appears to be proper replacement. We'll know for sure till we get it off. But first we gotta drain the oil out. I got two containers here because I don't know how much oil is in this motor. The dipstick is more than full. It's hard to find information, but it looks like it may hold it. I saw one that said it holds 12 quarts. That doesn't look like it'll hold 12 quarts. So I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to hold. If it's high because there's water in it, then it may fill up my drain container. I don't know. Let's crack it open and see what we got. Oh, yep. That worked. Oh, yep. That's water. Where is it? No, it's a mix. It's an oil water mix. There's no cap on the exhaust pipe, so I'm guessing the water got down in the motor. Obviously, water got down in the motor. It's draining out really, really slow too. Glad I didn't run this thing for long. I do have the air filters, so maybe while the oil's draining. Or at least the air filters they told me were right. I'd say that's pretty bad. And of course the inside one's missing because I took it out already. That probably wasn't doing anything except dropping pieces in the intake tube. Oh yeah. That was smart. What is that? You. This lip here is a little boogered up too. Get a little hammer, tap that back in place. Actually worked a little better than I thought it would. This is supposed to be the inner. Looks like the same general design. Yeah, let's say that's a winner. See how the other guys do this too. And I want to be cool. 35, 31 hours. Would have been easier before I put it in. But I'm a dum-dum. I'll try to be smart and write it on here first this time. This was got some pretty bad staining on it, but I washed it multiple times, and that's as good as I could get. That'll do. And this, I'm sure that's gonna flash rust, especially in the humidity here. But given how it looked, I think I'll be okay. This thing looks like it has a front and back. Probably should have paid attention to that when I took it off. Really? Is that the right way? Yeah, that's right. Oh man, that thing was tight. Yeah. Yeah. That's some dirty stuff right there. $13.48 is what they gave me for the oil filter. Seems like it's a smaller diameter. It fits though. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is smaller. The other one barely fit in there. I gave him the part number off the door, the chart on the door, and this is what he came back with. And this is all the, well, except for these filters. The big box full of stuff I pulled out from around the engine. That's a lot of goo. I had to pull this dash down when I was chasing that electrical issue with it not starting, and the bolts were completely rusted, so it ended up breaking the plastic. So I'm going to cut these bolts off, put some longer bolts in with some fender washers to hold it all together. So I'm going to do that now. So this goofy thing took almost 2 hours to drain, which something's not right with that. I'm hoping it's something inside the hose, either clogging it up or maybe it's collapsed or something, I don't know. But let's get it off there and see what we can see. So I know you can't see down in there, obviously. I think what I'm going to do, blow through this end and you watch that end. See if we can figure this out. Well, it's not the tube. That is free and clear. And that oil tastes gross. I might get a little poker and make sure there's not something right on the inside of there. No, nothing there either. Just drained really slow. Strange. Look how dark that is, though. It's probably been in there for 20 years. Well, that looks way less like blowing out while I'm using it and causing a problem. So, go ahead and check that off the list. D10W30. I'm guessing the D stands for diesel. 10W30 diesel. I've never actually even opened this, so I don't know what's going on down in here. They even put a filter on the end. Make sure I don't lose those. Well, I think I solved the mystery as to why they had this hose running out here and up through the filler cap. This little plastic bowl, or maybe it was glass on the original, I don't know. This thing's about $50 by itself if you get it from Bobcat or one of the suppliers. My guess is somebody broke this. They found out it was $50 and they said nope, and they looped it around. And I said the same thing when I saw the $50 price tag, but I found this on eBay, and the whole thing was $65. Still a lot of money, but I was missing the bowl, I was missing this piece here, I don't know what these things are called, but this thing here, this little drain plug here, and I got another filter, so it was probably worth it. So now I'm not replacing this whole thing, I'm just using the pieces I need, and we'll put the other parts away for later. So we'll go ahead and get this apart and start putting the pieces on the fuel filter housing that's in the unit. I hope that's it. I can't even tell if it's sitting in there right. So in a rare instance of clarity, I decided to check the coolant in here. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's not even a screw cap. That looks brand new. Or at least very good. I'm not sure I'm going to drain this thing. This thing, it's got a temp meter in it. I think I'm going to, well, that's weird. There we go. I think I'm going to warm it up, and if the temp meter works, just keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't overheat. But the overflow here is full, so I guess that's good. But aside from that, I still want to see what's going on under here. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That just looks like dried grass. And part of that coupling. What in the world was it doing up there? wonder if it broke off and got launched up there. Okay. Hope it didn't damage anything. Okay, well, very good. That's better than I thought it would be. Let's close it back up. Now that the engine's pretty much ready to go, I think I can go ahead and start with the controls. I came up with what I think will work. So this is what I came up with for the linkage that I'm missing. Just got a ball on the end, something to hold on to, bent up a shaft. Down here, you can see I got two heim joints, one for each of the controls. The mechanism here pivots. It's a little tight, so it pivots there to control this one, and then this will pivot on the shaft that's sticking out of the vehicle, so we can turn it and control that one. So it should work okay, but won't know till we get it in. So let's go put it in. While we're at it, nothing significant about the red other than that's all I had, so that's why it's red. There was quite a bit of fiddling about to get all these pieces right. I didn't think I could get it. I didn't think I could get it done with the pressure of the camera on me while I was doing it. So that's why I didn't take you on that ride with me. Would have took twice as long and just really kind of been a pain. The only bolt I had in my garage that's gonna fit, and I don't have to go out and get one, is about a 1/4 inch too long. So we're gonna use a 1/4 inch spacer and use it anyway. So let's see if we got range of motion here. So forward and backward on the stick here will give us forward and backward on this first valve right here. So let's see. Haha. Okay. Alright, so got a little twisting and a little binding down here as I do it. Don't know what's causing that, but we'll check the other one. Same thing. Tries to twist while I'm using it. I wonder if that's just too many joints in there. I don't know. Alright, so I made a change. Got rid of those heim joints and just bent up some 1/4 20 threaded rod. And I found some lock nuts to put on there too, so they wouldn't walk their way off. And I did that for both of them. So now Alright. May have to loosen them up a little to get a little more slop when I do this center valve. I can't remember if that's lift or tilt, but the one on the left moves just a little bit. Maybe it's just practice, I don't know. I'll get a battery to throw in this thing and see what happens. Well, seems to work just fine. I'll take it. When I was using the levers, I didn't notice any bleed through from one to the other. So, cool. Alright, I'm gonna grease this up and move on to what's next. Well, tragedy struck my camera and I lost a bunch of footage. So, pretty disappointed about that, but there's nothing you can do. I got this box put back in. I had to put there was a lever here, I'm assuming, from pictures I've seen and stuff. I just put one of these pull to stop cables on. As long as it works, who cares? Also, I can get my butt in here. On this side, I think it had a ball in this hole for pulling forward and backward, but that just didn't feel like it would be right. So now I got this handle here, which obviously the other hand, but it's holding the camera, and a high-low thing here. This rod was already here. I just threw this together from the lathe and put a set screw through it. So that's it. This thing is usable. I just put a battery in it. Let's see if it fires up. It's 54 degrees, I think, today. So we'll set the glow plugs a little and see if it starts like it's supposed to. Let's see. 20 to 40 seconds, it says. 41 degrees and above. So let's give it a try. Oh, there we go. Oh. Uh-oh. I don't think that battery's quite as tight as I would like it to be. Yeah, let me go tighten that connection. Well, come with me. I just threw this battery in here. I didn't even... Yeah, look how loose that is. I didn't even tighten it. that feels snug enough. Now let's give it a try. Still no? Oh! It wants to. Oh, so close. Let's try it again. Ooh, that smells. Come on. Yeah. Cool. So cool. Yeah, that battery connection's loose. Haha. Alright, very cool. Alright, so still got some bugs to chase down. Pretty sure that's that battery connection, because like I said, I didn't even tighten the terminals. I just put it in there and laid them on there. I didn't clean them or anything. Yeah, they're both still kind of loose. Ah, that's much better. Yeah, terminals were loose. Yep. Okay, that's now that is going to do it for this video. Next time you see this thing, I will be making an adapter for either this bucket, which is a Kubota bucket, I believe. It's got these pinholes in the back. I couldn't pass it up for the price, and to make an adapter's it's really not going to be that big a deal. The other thing is going to be these forks. Same thing. Forks were super cheap, and they were real forks, not the box tube thing that you get when you ordered them online. I saw them today. It was like $287 shipped, but it was all thin wall box tubing. I'm just gonna build something. I can find some real Bobcat stuff, but the price is it's too much. I'm not spending it. So anyway, 2 jobs coming up. One uses the bucket, the other uses the forks. I just gotta figure out which one comes first, so I'll know which project to do first. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.